Morning, everyone. It's actually morning. It's not like minutes
is.
before
I know,
morning. She's
itchy my
Maggie.
nose.
I'm Andy.
Sorry.
Welcome to Talking Horses. What's up? What do
I,
you-
I don't know. Suddenly, I had this really intrusive itch in my nose that I
if
was
you
like,
turn bright red, I'll know what's going on here. Isn't that what we were talking about before?
oh yeah, no, it's a child thing.
Yes.
Illness.
Maggie's fine.
Yeah.
Me.
They told me it
little
only
shaky.
affects 5-year-olds, so you might be in trouble.
That's my maturity level. That's not my actual age. I wish I was 5. I act 5, but I am not 5. Anyway, we'll head over to Naira Bets and get that out of the way. Belmont 25 is the promo code. We'll match for $200 your initial deposit and give you a free $25 bet for the Belmont Stakes. Head over to Naira Bets, get involved. We have a $10,000 hit and split. Got to opt in, late pick 5 here and at Monmouth as well. We've got the Belmont Betting Challenge. You've got, it's 12 days away now. It's the Friday, Saturday of Belmont Stakes weekend. You can play online and on track for this one. $5,000 buy-in, 2 BC seats, the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge, and head over to nairabets.com/contest for more information. Eddie's favorite part of the show, the cross-country pick 5. Ooh, 2 at Aqueduct and 3 at Monmouth. I thought there may be 3 here. I got very excited. And the show is on from 12:30 to 5:30. It's on FS1 today?
You sure about that, Eddie? Oh shoot, I forgot to mute my phone. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess it is. I don't know. Make sure that's true. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway. So, where are we?
Race 1? Should we do
Race 1, yes. Okay, I have a question about race 1.
Shoot, I'm looking at the FS.
Why is collaboration 8-1 and 4-1 on the line? Let's show her running second in the.
It's FS2, by the way.
Yeah, it's FS2.
Yeah.
Good job, Eddie. I blame you. Why isn't she considered the horse to beat in this race?
Yeah, I didn't write down any morning lines. I did one
I
of
mean,
your
I feel like
moves.
I'm missing something. Nobody seems to like her. I feel like I'm an idiot. I mean, I may be an idiot.
I love a mile for her. Maybe it's her coming back off of a layoff, but I don't understand why, because she's run well, fresh in the past. If anything, she's run best when she's fresh. So I didn't pick her on top, but I like her a lot here, honestly.
I just feel like she's fairly consistent. She's forwardly placed in a race where the one looks like the speed. I thought she was supermoto. And the other thing is, I mean, I understand others have some upside in this race, but like the horse that you picked, Unreasonable, she certainly can win this race. I didn't love her last race.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
I don't know. It kind of felt like Joel needed to understand her for a ride. And not that he's necessarily going to remember from this last start to this start. Who knows? But she was kind of running with, as Meg likes to say, the emergency brake on. She's kind of like head up in the air, stop and starts. And then he just lets her have her head, and she makes this incredibly wide move coming off of that long layoff. And it just, I mean, she got tired in the stretch, and I think she had an excuse to get tired in the stretch. And I feel like a lot of times, Christoph, with these European imports, they do often need a start coming back.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I'm not going to be shocked. I've got her third. I'm not way against her.
And I think like that number for her first start in the States makes her competitive in this
No, it
field.
does. It does. I can't argue with that. Listen, like I've said, I have her third. I think Lavender Disaster is the question mark, and you've left her completely out in here.
The 3-year-olds I thought were a little up against it.
I'm not a huge fan either. Now, this was a day that the rail was very good, but she spent a good deal of the race on the rail before she angled out in here. I mean, I know that Chad has always been a big fan, and she was completely taken out of the race in the Miss Grillo. So, I mean, that race is meaningless for her. She's going to have to get faster. Now, we usually see these 2-year-olds to 3-year-olds get faster, but she's going to have to get a lot faster to beat horses like the 2 and the 4, and even a horse like the 3, Vino Rouge, who I didn't like a race at Gulfstream, but it seems like Tony's horses have really been running, and she's not impossible. She's got plenty of back races to get to that could easily win this race.
Yeah, 100%. When it comes back to Lavender Disaster, just to emphasize the point you were making, I mean, I did those 2-year-old reports up in Saratoga, and she was a part of it. She was, one of, I think, maybe 3 or 4 horses that Chad selected to have a part of that series. So obviously the expectations are high on her, and maybe I'm remiss leaving her out. I just thought that, she was originally entered in that restricted 3-year-old race. Unfortunately, that race
Right.
came off the turf. So
She and
she's found
Pookie are the only ones that came back, right?
Right, and she's found herself against some, kind of salty veterans of the game, I thought, and
I don't disagree.
like I said, I don't, like you mentioned, when it came to Vino Rouge, I didn't love the fact that she was beaten by a 25-1 shot. But how many times do we see horses able to wire a field?
Yeah, I don't
at
want
Gulfstream?
to. I don't want to get too caught up in a bad effort down at Gulfstream. I agree
Right.
with you. She's run too well too many other times to get too caught up in what happens on that turf course. I agree with
Exactly.
you. We'll see what happens. I thought it was a very interesting
It is
race
an
to start the
interesting
day out.
race.
Feels like our first turf race starting the card since
Yeah.
we started turf
Right,
racing.
it is, right? Yeah.
I believe it is. Race number 2. I thought this was a big mess. Now, obviously, she's a little edgy. We'll go back 3 races to her finishing second. She's the drop down. She runs her good race. She's going to win this race. But I got to tell you, Mag, I don't trust her.
No, no, sir. I will say that she does feel like a need the lead type, and she had the 7-pound apprentice on, and it was somewhat of a fast pace, and she just never got near it with Will Be Famous, off the Brad Cox claim. That's the story that's often written around here. But the drop in class should make her competitive here. The problem, I guess it's not a problem. She should be the speed in here. But has she lost some
Well,
of it?
I think my horse is going to go Maggie T. Now, I don't have any great confidence in Maggie T, but I thought that he got a little too ambitious, putting her in that race. He came back. She's got a race 3 back that gives her a chance in here. We've obviously seen a lot of Stephen Schauer horses run extremely well.
Yeah.
And I just want to take a shot that she'd come running out of the gate. I agree. She's going to have
has to.
she's a little edgy outside of her. Rudy does not have great numbers. I looked at his non-maidens 50% drop on the dirt sprints. Now he's 24%, but it's a $1.40 ROI, and for a horse that's going to be, in the even money to 8 to 5 range, 25% ain't cutting it. So
Right,
she can
right.
win. I just like you. I put her second. You're trying to revive Goldcrest, but I can't blame you with Antonio Arriaga. He's
Right.
been on some roll.
And to just the turn back in distance, getting back to a fast track with her, I don't. And I just thought, last time she was wide. Not that was a track that necessarily went. Or no, but that was a track you wanted to, wasn't it? May 9th. Forgot. Anyway.
Was that a speed track? I don't think Floge was a speed. I did not look it up as a sloppy
she
field
wasn't.
track.
Anyway, but
You're just hoping that he can get her
He
back. I
can
mean, it's clearly on a
resurrect her.
train. It's
Exactly.
clearly a claim.
and it's
trainer
just a
change
turn
move.
back where if there is a little bit of pace, she should be the one sitting right there to pounce and hopefully prevail.
I mean, I think there's a lot of horses that you can make a case that they have races they could win. I don't really want Trade Secret claimed away from Linda. Collect Dat ran okay last times off the claim. I don't know. I thought Jackie the Joker wasn't impossible. Not convinced, though, the track didn't help her a little bit in her race 2 back. I don't know. I think.
Well, like you said, this is a mess of a race where all of them have taken turns beating
And
each
they
other.
all have chances, these respective
Yeah.
horses. And listen, it's going to come down to she's a little edgy. She runs her good race, she's going to win. But I think most of us feel like you want to take somebody else,
Yeah.
whoever else that somebody may be.
Yeah.
Race number 3 is good. This is kind of the race that Cornucopian was in that everybody scratched up. Good move, by the way, being afraid of Cornucopian. That turned out to be the right move. I wonder where he's going to show up next. The Malibu. Well,
Yeah, that would make sense.
I mean, the handling of Cornucopian and goal-oriented by that ownership group really defies belief. But that's a conversation for another time. Sand Devil. I'm hoping Sand Devil gets back on track. You've got him on top. I've got
did.
him second. I'm certainly not going to hold his wood against him. And this is the Gotham where he ran second and Mai Matoli ran fourth. Mai Matoli's really improved since then. I mean, he's good. I just took Tip Top Thomas over him, but I have nothing against
Well,
Sand Devil.
here's the thing. I really don't think Sand Devil wants to go the 2-turn 9
I
furlongs.
totally agree.
He looked uncomfortable the majority of the
We
running
never
of that
got a
race. He
terrible
never got-
position in the race.
Exactly.
He had no chance
looked
in that
so
race
unhappy, and yet
50
he's
yards into
still,
it.
He was still trying. Like
Yep.
even in the wood, like I know he was beating 13 lengths. You could see that the horse still wanted to try. And before that, what has he done wrong? He's done absolutely
No,
nothing
he's
wrong.
good.
So in this field, I thought he made the most amount of sense. Now you did go to Tip Top Thomas to hopefully wire the field, which I get. I just have a little bit of trouble, and I know he ran very well in the Champagne. Does he truly want to go this far? That's my problem with him, just looking at him physically.
Well, he did run that race in the Champagne.
He did.
And I don't have an enormous amount of confidence that he's going to come back and still be that good. And at first I thought, oh, God, he sucked down at Keeneland. I don't want any part of him. And then I started looking at the Keeneland race, and I don't agree that he sucked.
No, those
the
are nice
pace
horses.
completely fell
Yep.
apart.
Mhm.
Gunmetal
Yep.
is a very good horse, so I
Yep.
think there's a good chance we'll see him in the Woody
Retribution came
Stevens.
back.
Retribution came back and won, ran like I think 4 buyer points higher. The second horse ain't much, but I
No,
just
he
thought
was
the
like
race
30-1.
completely fell apart. He was outside stalking. I thought he'd be the speed here, and he was such a good 2-year-old that I'm not ready to completely give up on him. Today is a very pivotal race for him. I mean, I'm not saying he has to beat Sand Devil, but he better run well today because
Yes.
this is a horse that, I mean, his second in the Champagne was a very good race.
And I mean, even his maiden score, which he won, I thought, he
That was
beat,
an
at the
excellent
time
race.
he beat some really nice horses.
Yep.
But that I also feel like that's why he's more of a sprinting type. I don't know, and
But
it's a
Todd clearly
weird-
doesn't agree.
Todd is the master at this.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, listen. Today is a key race for him, but it's the second choice behind Sand Devil. I didn't mind taking because I really don't like the other horses.
No, there's
in this
nobody
race,
else. It's those
except
two.
my Matoli.
Okay, good luck.
I mean, my Matoli has improved. I don't
He
want to.
has. And he's been wired in his last two, and a mile's probably fine for him. He just doesn't switch leads. He's good, but he's a little untrustworthy in my estimation.
Yeah, no, I don't love him in here. I didn't think the others were particularly good enough. We'll see what happens in race number 3. Race number 4. We've both taken Scarlet Dream, and I'm with you in this. We'll put the Miss American Pies race 3 back up when she won. I don't care about her turf race last time. Her race 2 back was too bad to be believed, but now she's in for 30,000. So I think there's some real question marks about her.
There is, but Kristoff, first time for a tag, turf to dirt. I mean, if you want to use that angle, it's a small sample. He's 3 for $11, $1.60 ROI. It is what it is. But I agree. It feels like proceed with caution when it comes to her.
I mean, they're looking to lose her.
They're looking to lose her. It feels like
They
they're
probably
looking
are
to,
going to lose her.
Dissolve maybe this partnership with these horses. I don't know. But
Really? The Reeves and my racehorse?
Isn't there another drop down later on in the
Oh,
card? Am
maybe.
I making that up?
But I
might
feel
be
like
making that up.
Dean and Patty have something often are involved with my racehorse horses,
Maybe.
right?
I
always
don't
felt-
know. It just
I feel
felt like
I've
there
seen
were
it
2
before.
drop downs, but maybe they just don't want these horses anymore, which is understandable.
Yeah, I mean, she can win. I just thought Scarlet Stream was better.
I do too.
I didn't have anything brilliant.
100%.
I thought she's the fastest horse in the race.
She's consistently run faster.
I thought.
And so you're kind of just taking a Miss American Pie on the drop down, but Scarlet Stream's faced better in her last 2 as well.
I completely agree. She's been in very tough spots. She has not run as well for Horacio. Maybe she did prior to that, but not that badly. And honestly, I can't make a case for anybody besides them unless you want to hope that Bella Voce comes back and runs better. But, I mean, she's been bad for Linda in these races.
She's been bad. I agree. She has one race that makes her a winner.
Yeah, and
that was at Finger Lakes.
Linda's 4 to 8 month layoff numbers are not great with everybody, non-maidens. They're okay, but they're not
No,
very
they're
good.
not good.
They're
No,
not very
I
good.
agree
They're
with
not,
you.
and she's,
I mean, what do you do though with a horse like what is open soul autism on? I mean, it's running races that are put her a little bit in the mix. Put at Pleasanton.
What is? I mean this seriously. What is open soul autism? Is
No
that
idea. Anybody can explain. But she
should have
was
Googled it.
a private purchase by Gary Barber, Adam Wachtel, out off of those
those races at
races.
Pleasanton? I have news for you. You can't win with all the buys. They've made some good buys.
They have.
I thought that Baby Yoda.
Yep.
They bought that
Baby
horse
Yoda
after
off
like
of
the
my-
second
the
or third
Frocks.
race, right? Before
Charlie
running.
Frock, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
you have some good ones, you have some bad ones. I don't know. Yes, I don't know much about Pleasanton, though. I'm sorry I never went there.
I know. I would have loved to go there.
I know. I know. I used to go to Great Barrington Fair when I was a kid.
Oh,
Those
cool.
were the days. I saw things at Great Barrington. I wouldn't believe them if I hadn't seen them with my own eyes.
I just loved watching the mule racing at Pleasanton when they had it on
Yes.
HRTV.
Yes,
Yeah.
mule racing. Yes, and Byer was very big in the mule racing.
bet he
He loved the
I
mule
can
racing out there.
imagine.
Yes, he did. He really did. What's the other track that had it? Fresno.
Fresno, yeah.
Fresno.
You're
yeah.
right, yeah.
Yes, Andy was very excited by the mule racing. He's a true degenerate. Degenerate. Race number 5. We'll take a break after race number 5. Well, This is a bit of a mess now, isn't it, Mag?
Well, yes, both
They're just.
legs of this the split divisions here are.
I decided to go with Gorzo because I do have mad love for Dave Duggan. And I mean, there is a smidgen of turf pedigree on the dam side, and it's a big brown. And I thought the horse could move up and gets a rider switch to Romero. Intellectual
Sure.
just feels like is more likely to take more money because of the connections. And I did put the horse
100%.
second.
And I will say this: I thought that maiden 40 on the dirt was maybe a little bit, just slightly a little bit better than some of the maiden 40s we ran. Over the
I agree with
wintertime.
that. I agree with that.
And I wrote a little more turf meant. So there's pedigree there. The fool, he is a fool to Orange Freeze, who won one of the New York Stallion Series.
But he's the
stakes.
only one from the dam that won, and I think they're all Freuds, aren't they?
The dam won on the turf, though,
Yes,
too.
she did. No, she did. No,
yeah.
I'm with you. I got the horse second. I'm not. I don't.
Yeah, this is a very much a guess race. Based
Well,
on pedigrees,
I think one of the
because
things
the ones that have run are meh.
Right. Like Viking Warrior, by the way, is a new gelding, and this is one of the rare times the horse is a gelding, and it's not in the paper.
It's not, I know, I
She's
know.
got plenty of pedigree, but
It's a he.
he,
Just
sorry,
gelded.
yes. I thought his first race was bad.
Yeah,
his first
did
turf race.
no running.
It's a little
Like,
wide, but he
literally,
was
no.
awful.
He had no speed, and he was just loping along at the back of the
Yeah,
pack.
I mean, I respect Rick as much as anybody, but
Right.
I just wonder if this horse can run anymore. And as far
I
as
love the dam. Remember the dam, Esther the Queen?
yeah,
She wasn't that good,
she was a
but for some
sprint-
reason-
Did Nick Essler train her
Yeah,
one time?
and then Michelle Nevin.
Yeah, right. I remember I remember Nick had her. Yeah, I think he was still talking to me at the time. It was before he
Oh,
stopped
he
talking to
loves
me.
you.
Yeah, he's a big fan, like so many. I don't have a problem with Nick. Make your moment. I just feel like make your moment at a short price. I mean that race.
It
where
was such a blanket finish, and those races are so bad. There's
That
so many.
was-
There's several of those horses coming out of that race in both this one and the 9th, and you're just like,
I want
rather
somebody
not.
new,
I'd
whether it's
rather
the
not.
1 or the
Yeah.
7. I want
but they can
somebody
win.
new. Sure,
They can win,
Well,
but there's some unknowns in here that are just more appealing. I thought, especially in the other.
I
version.
thought was a little bit interesting.
Who?
Classic Martini, because it's not great turf pedigree, but the dam side is kind of turf move-up pedigree. Kind of can run better, and I know that obviously.
it's a
well,
war front,
By the way,
right.
I also predict this horse will exceed the 5 and 6 buyers that he ran in his first 2 starts. He might even exceed them together. He might even
Yeah.
beat 11. I don't know. He's got my look of like the 1,000,000 to 1 shot that might run a little.
And a half did win 3 times on the turf, but that half was a noble mission. So a
Yeah,
little
I
bit more
know.
influence there,
Classic
but
Empire's
still.
11%, and it just
Yeah.
feels a little bit early to to convict him one way or the other.
Yeah. Look, I even like Tom's horse last time, and I do think definitely needs blinkers. But again, I really don't want anybody
Once
out the
again,
race.
I mean, Maddie had the horse in good position, just
I
went
know, and
backwards.
well, no, a horse kind of came over to him, and he was
Okay.
like, oh! On the inside, he had a little accident. I
My
think,
man
in his
David
pants.
Aragona likes big ego. Good luck, David. He is a
You
flatter.
know how many times I've tried with that horse.
He's gonna beat me here, but I'm not gonna knock anybody in this race because there ain't a lot of form to go on. We're gonna
No.
take a break. We'll be back with the late pick 4.
Bet the Belmont Stakes with a $25 free play from Naira Bets. Naira Bets is the official betting app of the Belmont Stakes and is available in most states. Naira Bets makes it easy to get in on the action with streaming HD video, weekly promotions, and a state-of-the-art betting interface. If you're betting the Belmont, your best bet is Naira Bets. Scan now for your free $25 Belmont Stakes bet, plus a $200 bonus for new members with promo code Belmont25.
We're back, Maggie and Andy. So let's talk about turf horses before we get. I'm very interested in talking about your horse. I didn't pick it because I'm curious your thoughts. I like that you picked this horse because I gave this horse a very, 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 very long look. But let's talk about ones that have run on the turf first, and we'll talk about Wild Mischief and Forever to Go. And I'll be honest with you, I have no argument with these horses, as obviously you don't either. You've got them second and third like I do. Eddie, you getting that video, or are you busy? This was a funny time. The winner came up the rail, and the rail actually was dead. Something to remember on the Melon at Saratoga that can get a little bit dead down inside late in the meet.
Too. It's brown.
Yeah, it'll happen late in the meet. It's happened, I think, a couple of years in a row. I have no knocks on these horses. They ran well, and they're turf horses.
And, Forever to Go, Johnny not riding today, so
Joelle's
Joelle
riding,
Rosario on Forever to Go, and I just thought she was dangerous because she has speed.
Yep.
At the end of the day,
But she loses all the time,
she
which I
does.
don't like.
She does, but I think she's more of a. I think she could.
She's
be
could be a
on
better
the
turf horse. I agree with you. I tend to agree. I know she has that
Yeah.
one big fig, but she's never really run back to it, and I agree. And the other thing is, it's not rare that these 69s as 2-year-olds become 80s,
Yeah.
and it would make them too good for these. I have a thing for Stormy Disco. It may be a terrible opinion by me, but
No, I think
wanna-
she's all turf. And,
well,
and I
sprinting,
Yeah.
I want to go back to this sprint. I thought she ran very well. Now, it's a hard race to get a handle on because most horses never even ran back on turf.
Right.
But we'll take a look at it, Eddie. The last 3/8 of her race. I mean, she didn't break. She broke to the outside. She was chasing. I mean, she makes the lead here. The winner was on the rail the whole way. Now, it was a fair track. I don't think she was helped by a bias. But Being Betty's actually okay for Phil Serpy.
Yes.
She's got on done pretty well.
Yes.
I thought she ran super in this race. I always kind of wanted to bet her back after this race, and then they ran her long, and she's had times off. Now, listen, I don't know why nobody claimed her for a quarter, by the way, down in Florida. I mean, why wouldn't you want to claim for a quarter and get back to New York
feel like
races
people
with
don't
her?
claim down there at Tampa.
Strange.
Much.
Now, maybe she can't run anymore, but she has not sprinted since this race. She's going to be a big price, so I just want to lose some money on her one time in a turf sprint. That's all.
I looked at her long and hard, but there can only be 4 picks up there.
So what is the Ultra
definitely-
Cameo?
Okay, so I know it might be
I think this was very interesting.
it might be a terrible race that she comes out of, so therefore she was 4.5 to 1 that day. She didn't do much running, but at least she showed
Well, she
some
showed speed. She ran a little.
and obviously her works would indicate that she should be quick, but there is some turf pedigree.
Second dam was good.
Exactly. So the second dam, she was 3 for 10 on the turf, and the dam, Tip Top Tap, is a full to ring weekend.
Really?
Graded stakes winner on the turf. So, and while the dam, she never won on the turf, she handled it, and she never won a race for that matter. And I know Practical Joke doesn't have great numbers on
No,
the
but
turf,
he's not
period,
terrible.
But
He's
I'd
not terrible.
much rather have a
Sprinting.
sprinter on the turf. So I just thought because she took some nibbles first time out, and they immediately come here.
It could have
off
well have been a
quick
prep to come
turnaround.
to New York with a New York bred. And I looked the trainer up because
I think she does a great
I've never
job.
seen her really before. Here's a stat for you. Over the last 5 years in the turf, she's over the last 5 years, first of all, she's got a $1.81 ROI on all of her starters.
Mm-hmm.
And on the turf, she's 9 for 60 with a 391 ROI.
So she doesn't get that because she's at Park, so therefore she doesn't get the opportunity to
Right.
run that much on the turf. She goes to Monmouth. I've seen her horses at Monmouth. I've seen her when they go to Parks, and let me tell you, they're well turned out, good-looking horses that look as though they belong in those races. they're
This
entered in.
horse has a bit of a look. I laughed when I saw that you picked this horse because I obviously did take a long look at this horse. I picked against, but I'm not going to knock it. You got horses near like the 2 or the 3, Accelerated News. Dave's got 8 to 1. Horse ran a big figure in the turf, but I don't trust this horse sprinting. Do you?
Sprinting, no. And 2, I really don't like the turf. So finished 8th, 4 3/4. She was beaten more than
She
that.
was beaten 6 lengths. It's so funny that you say that because I have written on my thing 6 lengths. Yes. Yes. She did not get beaten by 4 3/4. I'm not sure what she lost by, but it was
wasn't
more than
that.
that. She really, I mean, the only thing I'll say about the race is she was wide the whole way.
She
to
was
be fair.
wide, and yes, that never wins turf races at Gulfstream, as we
Right.
mentioned before. But she also never really accelerated. Like there was never. If I have
agree.
a horse turning back, I want them to show some sort of move, not just running evenly around the racetrack.
I agree with you, and it's not as though she has some super turf pedigree. You know, Silsby, who we both got, I had the horse. Actually, I didn't have
Fifth.
anywhere. I put the three.
Oh.
I put Fiery fifth.
Look, there's a lot of horses I think that can win this race. I ultimately put Silsby in fourth because they paid a lot of money for her.
A lot of money.
And there isn't an abundance of pedigree. And I watched her
But he
work
entered
out,
the
and I
first
liked
time on
it
the
on the turf. Right. And she took money despite that. So sometimes I feel like people forget, as you often talk about, that it's actually a dirt race. So, I mean, Disco Star, she came back to win on the turf with an 80 buyer as a 2-year-old. So, I think, right?
She's a Rockport Harbor dam. That ain't turf.
I've always thought it was like synthetic more.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that pedigree overall.
I hear you.
I mean,
She might be a synthetic horse, honestly, because she worked well.
I
over
think both the George
OBS
Weavers are
surface.
dangerous. What about Last of My Kind, who's a half to Doc Sullivan?
Why
There
is she on the turf?
But also Seaver. Well, I
I
mean, to
know,
be fair, looking
but
at Lee is looking at Lucky, so it's not like there's no turf there. All I'm going to say about this race is the horses with experience are probably the best horse, but there are a lot of time bombs in this race that could be a little interesting.
I hope it's a race where you can make money.
Yeah,
because
it-
it'll just be boring.
It feels like a
You
fun.
know?
It feels like a
Yeah.
fun race, and that's why these turf races are fun.
Yeah.
Whether you make money or not, I think there may be some opportunities. So I don't know about you. I picked Power Seeker in race number
Same.
7, and I scratched into Flat Out Flying. We'll show his
Same.
race 2 back. I don't have a lot to say
I
about
don't
this race, Maggie.
either. I mean, he just feels like, with Power Seeker out, he feels like the next fastest horse. I'll give him the excuse of he just
The wet
didn't look
track,
as though he
sloppy
didn't like a
sealed,
wet
yep.
track. Quick Hammer was able to wire the field. He doesn't do himself any favors now of getting out of the gate. That is his biggest Achilles heel. So, was the track pretty fair? I watched some
Last time I
replays.
thought the rail was a possible advantage. That was
No,
mostly
I meant
fair.
over the last 2
Oh,
days.
yes, yeah.
So,
they're
yeah.
a little raily early yesterday, but I think
Yeah.
overall not really a factor looking through the whole card. I guess there's a chance that Sundays with Sandy wires the field, but
Right.
I don't know how fast. Is he really that much
That-
faster than horses like Winter's Ghost and Suerte?
Suerte.
Aren't
Well,
they
here's
gonna
the thing.
go?
What do you do with Suerte?
I can't take him.
No, and I agree with you.
He
I
was
mean, that
awful.
is
Should've won
a
last time.
Brad Cox specialty,
Right.
too.
He did run a winning race. I don't know where Catch the Smoke got that race from.
Well,
but
he
ran.
got the race. I mean, they were ding-donging on
Yeah.
him and Winter's Ghost. But again, he should have won. I agree with you because there was enough back class with him. But Robert Johnson is running him back pretty quickly off the Brad Cox claim.
Yeah, well, that's smart.
Yeah.
To be honest. What about
And
Prove Worthy?
Our man, Bill Morey.
But from Antonio Arriaga,
Exactly.
so we'll see.
I think he's too slow for a mile. I think he's better going longer.
Okay, that's a reasonable argument. He's had some issues and he didn't run well last time.
I have him second.
I put
out of
Sundays with
respect for
Sandy
the
second,
connections.
thinking there's a chance that he's the
Yeah.
speed of the speed. He didn't run that badly last time.
Yeah.
And he didn't even have a lead
No,
last
I
time.
agree with you. Sundays with Sandy could get loose here.
I've always had a thing for him. Race number 8. So, can we switch replays here and show Royal Brownie first? Royal Brown. Is it Brown or Brownie? Brown.
I like Brown.
I always liked this horse. I thought his Meadowlands race was actually very good, 3 back. Thought he ran well in here behind Slap in the Face, who had a perfect trip and is pretty good to beat him. And last time out off the layoff, it feels like he probably needed a race.
It
They
does.
put IRAD up on him. Maybe it's too moto, but I took him.
Yeah. You've liked him. I haven't always liked him type of thing. I don't know.
Well, I thought he really improved at the Meadowlands. That's why I liked him 2 back when he ran second, because I thought that race, the Meadowlands, is a
Right,
lot
kinda
better
set
than it
him up.
looks, and he ran
Yeah.
pretty well in this
Yeah.
race. Last time out, the other speeds actually were okay. I don't know. Smooth Breeze ran really well.
I
He's
just thought
entered the
this-
Penn Mile. I just thought he was logical.
I
on him.
cannot let my horse get away. And I saw
your
Mike
horse?
Beer picked him too.
Broderick, talk about him.
Broderick. I've been waiting for this horse to get on the turf since the day
Really?
he debuted, because Pat Reynolds had him entered on the turf first, and he scratched him for some reason. I can't remember if it was off the turf or it was a vet scratch or what have you, but he was entered for the turf, and I think he looks like a turf horse. And look at this pedigree. Okay, the dam won on the synthetic. Broderick is her first foal, but the dams have to Arklow, who is an arch. This horse is a blame. And also, the dams have to Murad, who is a Blame, who's also a multiple graded stakes.
The
winner
problem
on the
is
turf.
she's a flatter. Right? You're telling me the
Right.
Dams halves had turf sires,
But the
and she's a
cross,
flatter.
I'm just saying the cross
To Blame,
has
who's a
worked.
good turf stallion. Now, listen,
Exactly.
so it's a big price, and they're absolutely. I'm going to have to use this horse because of you. So
No, it's just because I said Mike Beer liked him too.
no, no. I love Mike.
I
but
do too.
I haven't seen Mike in way too long.
I
was saying that. I
know.
haven't seen him forever. He's such a good guy. Yeah. No, I listen. I'm open to anybody in here. I mean, I've got American Grant second.
You look, he always
So
runs a race.
slow,
I
though.
know, he always runs
Such
a race where
plotter.
that could win, but he just never wins.
I agree. And the
And
other,
he's in the 12 hole,
the same could be said for
for
Kick a Buck. I'll go to Kick a Buck's race
or
3
even
back.
Barnstorming, who draws into
Yeah, I mean, all of these horses are sort of the same, but they're
Yeah.
not winning types. And Kick a
Right.
Buck really isn't a winning type. I know he broke his maiden up in Saratoga over Chad, but he dropped him down significantly and was a big favorite. The other thing is, you know what's weird about him? Linda ran him at
Fairgrounds. That's what I was like. What? Why?
I have a
Who
question.
had him down there
I have
for
a
her?
I have a question.
Maybe.
Is it
You
to
know
claim
who's down there?
horses?
Maybe / Adam was down there.
Oh, okay. Because
Her
I don't
nephew.
feel like we ever see her run down there.
No, I'm pretty sure her nephew was
Do you have
down
to
there
run a
once.
horse to be eligible to claim horses? Is it
Down
possible
there?
that's why she
Yeah.
did it?
I think, or do you even have to also have horses stabled there?
I don't know. You
can't
would know. You're the
remember.
fairgrounds person.
I can't
around
remember.
here.
Well, I know Tom can because he has horses there. He runs there.
Tom. How is Tom? I haven't seen him in a while.
Good. He's probably downstairs getting changed for the races in my office right now. I had to bring him clothes and a sandwich. I'm
didn't-
such a good wife.
I'm not even getting near that conversation. Race number 9, though. Another race where there's, well, my top pick was scratched in here. I liked Arch's Assault, so I'm already
I
annoyed.
know.
Patronage. We'll take a look at Patrionage's good race behind Amplitude.
How can you trust this horse?
I
though?
cannot trust
Sound like
this
Mike
horse
Maker
at
has
all.
giant move-up numbers
No, he
with
doesn't.
this move.
No, he doesn't. He does not have great numbers off the claim with turf routes and maidens. I'll tell you that.
Nope.
But off of his numbers off of layoffs aren't that bad. I don't know. I scratch in this horse. I don't know where I'm supposed to go in this race. I mean, who am I supposed to like? You've got Dakota Country. I agree with you. That horse is very dangerous getting
Yeah.
in. I don't trust this horse either.
No.
Voided claim last time.
Right.
Off now for 10 months.
Yeah.
Gets a far outside post. I don't know. I wish there was
That's
somebody.
the problem with this condition today. There's nobody really exciting.
No.
I mean,
I guess the Keel, the 9, has some pedigree in there,
a
but
little bit, but nothing to get excited about. I mean, if anything, at the end of the day, I feel like Iron Max is the horse that you ultimately won.
because it's Amelia.
It's
too,
Amelia.
right?
The turf races, he faced world better horses.
Agreed. He was bad though.
He-
I mean, that race
well-
on August 30th, he was bad in there, wasn't he?
I know. I still, he's one of those horses that would probably be best at 7 furlongs at Belmont on the turf, but you're not going to get that. But at least,
No, I
feel
should have
like-
had him a little bit higher. I
Yeah.
don't. I'm not. I mean, I'm not
And-
exactly sure. I mean, with the way Amelia's horses are running, I should
He
have the horse
was,
higher.
when I saw him on May 4th, I thought he'd improve mentally and physically as a now 3-year-old. So I think that's a step in the right direction. The race was at least on the dirt. He's bred to be maybe a little bit more of a turf horse with the Caravaggio on top.
The horse I don't want is the 5, but that horse is 8-1. So who cares anything about that horse? You've got the 6 in there. Is that? Oh, they didn't change your picks.
Oh, they didn't.
Guys, the
Guys.
6 is scratched.
13
Eddie,
to
I blame
11
you for that.
5.
11,
So I
5.
have
There you go.
the 5,
All
the
right.
slow horse in there.
I got nothing clever to say here at all.
No.
But
Nothing.
I took Patronage.
I mean,
off the
Oath
claim
of
for Mike.
Emerda, I gave a little bit of a look to. First time gelding. He's a horse I had chased a lot as a 2-year-old. Very good looking type. And I watched, that race at Gulfstream. And I thought, I know he didn't run that well, but it was maiden special weight again with one wiring the field. And I liked the way he moved over it at least. So easier spot against New York breds, first time gelding.
Okay.
Maybe you get a
I
little bit
did
of
not
price
like
on
the
it.
way he ran in there, but I will defer to you on that. I did not like that horse's race, but I guess he's not listening. In this race, I'm not going to tell anybody, especially at a big price, not to bet any horse in here.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody in here that has particularly trustworthy form, to say
No.
the least. It's a pleasure as always.
Yeah.
Head over to Naira Bets. Use the promo code Belmont25, and we'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. We also have $10,000 hit and split. Opted over for that. Late pick 5 here and at Monmouth as well. Want to remind people you've got 12 days left until the $5,000 buy-in Belmont Stakes Betting Challenge 2-day contest online and on track as well. I think Jonathan did pretty well in the Churchill Derby one. I think he was 4th or something. I know he was right.
Oh,
I think he was
good.
2nd going to the last
find
race.
out.
I think he did pretty well in that, actually. I know he did pretty well in it. I'm not exactly sure where he finished. Cross Country Big 5, 2 at Belmont, 3 at Monmouth. All those races will be on America's Day at the races on FS2 from 12:30.
Eddie's embarrassed about his
Eddie,
slate.
Eddie, you have many things to be embarrassed about, the slate being just one of them. Anyway, we love Eddie. That's why
We
we
do.
make fun of him.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're done. Day's just getting started. Chris Griffin has a reprise of Scratch and Changes coming up in a little while. Bye.
Bet the Belmont Stakes with a $25 free play from Naira Bets. Naira Bets is the official betting app of the Belmont Stakes and is available in most states. Naira Bets makes it easy to get in on the action with streaming HD video, weekly promotions, and a state-of-the-art betting interface. If you're betting the Belmont, your best bet is Naira Bets. Scan now for your free $25 Belmont Stakes bet, plus a $200 bonus for new members with promo code Belmont25.